Welcome to the On My Way Podcast with your boy Pernell. I got my man Joshua Darns, that guy you know. And I got my man Eric Martin, the Big Easy. And we're here with Miss Toscca Madison from
the Pensacola Lamplights.
How you said it, Eric? Hold on, Eric, say it. How you say it?
Look, man, we're going to need some more E, man. We have the so beautiful Miss Toscca Madison here.
I am the creative director for StompFest and also the chairperson for G Code and also a mentor in the Pensacola Lamplighters.
Beautiful, beautiful. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
About myself. I am a graduate of the wonderful University of South Florida.
Go Bulls.
I am an academic coordinator / assistant principal at elementary school. I, in my spare time, like to mentor and help the youth. And also, though, in my heart, I'm an artist. In my spirit.
Okay.
What type of art you do?
I paint sometimes, and then I do, some poetry at times.
You gonna give us one, like at least a sample?
I gotta go to my IG page, and then you can. I have a thing. Like I tell people all the time, like I only perform once a year, only one time a year. Like that's my whole little thing.
So 365 opportunities. You only take one.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta come to. Actually, my friend Haley puts together this wonderful event. It's called Womanhood in Lavender. So I'm gonna plug her really quick. And I perform at that. It's once a year. So next year, make sure you guys are in the building for that. Okay.
Awesome.
All of you guys there.
Awesome, beautiful. So tell us a little bit about this StompFest event. I know that the first one was last year. You had a really great turnout here in Pensacola, Florida. Tell us a little bit about what the event is and what we're bringing to the table this year for it.
So StompFest, it had its first year last year, and it turned out to be an amazing experience. Definitely for the city, just bringing that HBCU kind of experience to the city, something that we've never had before. So and just with step shows in general, college step shows. So it was definitely a great experience, and also it allowed. Just the StompFest team to get our feet wet, just kind of like, okay, this is what we want to do. And then we just, this year, of course, fine tuning it, but also making it way bigger than anything we've ever done before. So it's going to be at the biggest venue in the city, right. Of course. And I'm really excited. The StompFest team is a group of amazing individuals who are all so talented. And so I really don't see how people won't want to go. You know what I mean? It's just, if you know the people behind the scenes, you'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna be there because it's gonna be that great of a show.
So what is StompFest based off of? Is it kind of like a Greek show? Or is it?
It is a combination. And the founder, which is Brian Freeman, shout out to Be Free.
Be Free.
He kind of had this idea that he wanted to bring. He went to FAMU, and so he kind of had this idea where he wanted to bring that kind of feeling to the city. Because we don't have that here, of course. And, me growing up, I went to USF, but I was always road tripping to everything that FAMU had, we were there. We were going to drive in a couple hours, you know what I'm saying, and stay in somebody's, college apartment or whatever, just to be in the city, to be, to get that feeling.
That environment.
Yeah, and then also, when I was in undergrad, we would go to FIST, every year. You know what I mean? And so I knew when he came to me, he was like, this is what I want to do, Toscca. I want to bring this vibe to the city. And I was like, you know what? You know what I mean? Let's do it. That's my relationship with Free. He'll come up with whatever kind of crazy idea, and I roll with it every time. But it's just kind of bringing that HBCU culture, that Greek step showcase or step show, that vibe to the city. So
are you?
No.
Oh, okay.
So it's bringing that whole vibe, and then also though, but teaching people about that culture. If they you know what I mean? It's people here, they may know about FAMU, but then there's a bunch of other HBCUs that they don't know about. So it's also just kind of educating them on that culture, and our culture, just us as people. You know what I'm saying? So just bringing all of that. It's gonna have art. It's It's gonna have music, stepping, just all of that combined. So definitely don't miss it.
So what would you say is going to be the major differences between last year's and this year's?
Venue, of course, way bigger venue.
Yeah, Pensacola Bay Center.
Yes, in the Bay Center. And then also just all the different elements that we're adding. A bunch of different surprises that people are kind of going to be like, what? Like, that's kind of how I want them to feel when they're in the building. Like, I did not expect, you know what I mean, this to be happening. So just adding, and then we have just some different things that are going to be happening before StompFest. And then also it's like a whole weekend, actually. It's events happening on Friday, it's events happening on Sunday. We didn't have that last year. All we had last year was just the show. This year, there's a whole Saturday planned, multiple events before StompFest. There's Friday events, there's Sunday events. So it's like a whole weekend. So, it's kind of like the place to be. November 2nd.
Amazing. Awesome. Now, tell us a little bit about G Code. This year will be your fifth?
Yes.
Fifth?
Yes.
Yeah. So I've seen it personally with my own eyes, over the last 2 years grow. And I mean, to watch high school kids bring out an entire city of people, and I mean, even watch the yard, and these, like I say, these are kids, these aren't, these aren't cues, they're the little baby cues, but it's amazing. How do you put that together? How do you make that work and bring it to that level of success?
So G Code is like it's a culmination of a bunch of just great people and their hard work and ethic. I came around when they were on their first kind of themes, because I don't know if you've been to a G Code, but they kind of operate around these themes. And so when I came into the picture, which is the second year, they were doing the Harlem Renaissance, and to be able to work on that with Freeman, how immersed they were in the details of I wrote a whole script for that show, and just how much dedication, he passed that to me, and I fell in love with it. I was like, I'm never not gonna work on this show, you know what I mean? I gotta work on this show every year. So every year my goal has been to make it more epic, and last year they made Watch the Yard, and they were super proud of themselves, and I was proud of them, but they, that was just a testament to how much work they put in, and then just the staff. But to bring the city out, that's something that I don't even think they can appreciate until they're older. When I was in high school performing, I brought, the whole city out there. I've never even performed in front of the entire city, you know what I mean? I'm sure you guys have never performed in front of the entire city, you know what I mean? But we have lamplighters who have performed in front of literally the entire city. They bring the city out, they come to see them. And it's a chance for them to be superstars. It's a chance for other kids to be superstars. Of course, we have other teams in the show. So it's a chance for parents to come and literally watch their kid on stage be a superstar. You know what I mean? And I've never had that experience, and so it's kind of giving them that every year. And then of course giving away scholarships during the show. One year we did talent shows where we gave away money. We do the report card giveaway, where if somebody brings up a report card, whoever has the best grades, we give them money on the spot. And so it promotes a lot of positivity within the community and with our youth. And so that's one of my biggest things with working on G Code, because it just really is a positive thing for the kids. They look forward to coming and, dancing and all of that, but also we're raising money for scholarships, we're giving away money for good grades, you know what I mean? And just kind of promoting positivity. And every year those themes cater to the kids. With Harlem Renaissance, it was about, it was based off of the Langston Hughes poem, A Dream Deferred. And so it was hold fast to your dreams. You know what I'm saying? That was our big thing with them. You know what I'm saying? You can achieve anything you put your mind to. Whatever dreams you have, you can achieve them. We did the Back to the 90s 1 year, and that was a way for them to connect really with their mentors. There's Max, there's Wu, they have a whole 90s vibe. They love the 90s, and so it was them being able to really connect with them. Max being all right, this is the kind of music we used to listen to. Y'all come out to this. You know what I'm saying? It was a really good bonding experience for them because they aren't well versed on the 90s like that. So and then with last year, just them being the Kings, I thought that was their their year to just kind of like, I've been doing this G code thing for like 2 years. Like I know who I am. I'm the king. You know what I'm saying? We did our whole keep it king, keep it queen thing. Did y'all get a keep it king shirt?
No.
Yeah, I have a keep it king shirt.
No, I want my shirt too.
I've seen it.
You need to go on Nerdy. Okay, let me plug my other friend, Miss Vanessa. You need to go on Nerdy, and you need to get you a Keep It King shirt.
First
you need to follow G Code, the page.
Follow G Code.
You need to go get you a Keep It King shirt. Like that's the movement right there. Keep It King.
Keep it king.
That's what came out of what we did last year. You know what I'm saying? The boys really embraced it. Like we had the shirts with the crowns on. Have y'all seen the shirt?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
J-Max
played.
Yeah.
J-Max had a shirt. Field play if you're having it.
Should have got my shirt, but it's all good. It's all good.
It sounds like
get a Keep It King shirt. Y'all all have to do me that favor. But anyway, last year that came, saying we just recognizing the kids as royalty. You know what I mean? Like, the queens and the Keep It, you know what I mean? So we kind of built a whole movement around that. So just next year, next year is going to be epic. Just facts. It's our 5-year. It's going to be epic.
Now, are we also bringing out other organizations as well? I know we've had the Pensacola Red Diamonds out there performing, the Kappa League out there.
Yeah,
we still keep
growing
that?
ever since you guys did it the first time, and now with StompFest coming along, I'm sure it's going to be a lot larger. How important is that to the culture of the city? Because a lot of things, for me, I'm from Jacksonville, and so coming here, I thought it was like a little small town. I didn't know this is part of Florida, to be general. So coming here, I see a lot more black culture here than I see in Jacksonville.
Really?
Yes. The main reason is because Jacksonville is so large that you stick to your side, because I'm be honest, I'm not going nowhere if you ain't giving no gas money. Right. That's how it is. But here it seems like the black community is a lot more together culturally. And so how important is that for the younger generation growing up, in this area?
I'd say, it is a small town, and so if I don't know you, I'm pretty sure I know somebody that knows you. Like, you know what I mean? I know your cousin. You know what I mean? So, our community is small, but it's very tight knit, and so just even trying to shift that narrative and kind of change that culture. That's something that me and the people that I work with try to do with everything we do. You know what I'm saying? With everything we do, it's always to change or influence, the youth. And so with G Code, them putting in 3 or 4 months before the show even. Imagine what they could be doing with their free time if they weren't practicing for G Code. That's free time they'd be doing what? Getting in trouble. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So I think it's imperative that we keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of that, some kids live for G Code. I know once per year I'm about to do something on stage, you know what I mean, that's important that I'm going to get recognized for. So I think it's important to our city and just trying to keep that positive energy in the youth, because if we didn't do anything, they would have free time to do other things.
Because a lot of times it's like you idolize the athletes in the city, but you don't idolize the kids who have other talents.
Exactly.
And so that's kind of like in the black culture. You play football, basketball, or baseball, you're really good at it. Oh yeah, we got you. But you do anything else, you're wasting your time. Yeah. For you guys to kind of highlight their abilities and their talents. Mm-hmm. How did you get your creative edge?
I think that even as a kid, I think I was always just kind of a little bit just creative. I was writing when I was in elementary school. You know what I mean? So I was writing film scripts. So I wanted to be I still want to be a film director. That's not something I let go, but I want to be a film director. So I was writing stuff in 5th grade. I remember middle school, I finished my first entire movie. I hand wrote it on the old school paper. So the first movie I wrote was about gangs and 2 people from rivaling gangs, they fall in love. I was in the 5th grade, y'all.
God, stuff were you into in the 5th grade, man?
I am from Pensacola. Okay. So 2 rivaling gang members fall in love and they try to get out of the life or whatever. That was
one was on Halifax, the other was on Cervantes.
Exactly. And I was handwriting all my scripts, and then the next movie I wrote, I started writing, and to this day, that's the first film I'm going to direct. I tell you all the time, Denver's Blues is the first film I'm going to direct. I started writing that when I was in the 7th grade. And I still have it. I've updated it a million times. Wow. I started over a million times, but that's the first film I'm going to direct. Because it's a story that's close to my heart. And it was the first time where, you know how you do something in the moment, you know you're supposed to do it? It was the first time I felt that when I was working on that script, and I was like, you know what? It's like what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, this is, I see myself. I see when I'm sitting in the theater, it says directed by Toscca Madison. The first time I felt that. And so I always, like, when I tell people all the time, like, I'm going to direct that first. And last year I was supposed to be in a film contest, but I had some other stuff happen. I couldn't really get it going. So maybe after this year is slam packed, so I can't do it, but maybe next year. Maybe next year I can. But you know what? Like, with film directing, it doesn't really have like a cap age. Like, Scorsese is super old. Still I had directing. You know what I mean? Spike Lee, super old, still I had directing. You know what I mean? So I'll get to it, but that's kind of how it came along. Like with StompFest, to be honest, like StompFest is the only thing right now that's pushing me, like artistically, like really challenging me, because I'm bringing parts of my vision to life, but the majority of somebody else's vision. And that's something I want to get into. Like, I'm going to eventually probably start my own business and do creative consulting where people bring to me projects. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, one day I tell people all the time, like, I want to do the Oscars. Like, I'm already for StompFest and things that we've done, G-Code. I'm the person in the back with the walkie saying, in 5 minutes, this next person needs to go up. I'm already doing that. So let me do it for the Oscars.
Shameless plug.
The Academy Awards.
I was really thinking about it because it's like, I know for a fact, even when I first got here, Greek organization, they were trying to get yard shows, couldn't get it on. They thought about doing things like StompFest, never could get it going. And so like, I can only imagine the amount of time and work that it would take to get something like StompFest going, especially when you get outside organizations to come in and be a part of it as well.
Yeah. I'm like a contracted person. Like, I'm the person that say, okay, well, I'm responsible for the show, the experience of the show. And so my main focus is when people come to StompFest, like what experience they have. That's my job, to make sure that I don't care if they're all the way up there, like that they have a good experience and that they got everything, the work that we put in, that they were able to see it. You know what I mean? If I wanted the mood to be a certain way, I need to make sure that every person in here felt that. Yes. And just walk out with that feeling of like, wow, like I experienced something. You know what I mean? I've went to shows like that. I've been to events like that where I walk out and I'm like, dang, that was, you know what I mean? That was well put together. And so that's kind of how I want people to feel when they leave StompFest. And then I want them to be like, I have to be at that next year. Have to be there.
So who inspires you?
Who inspired me in what aspect? Is that my phone?
No, thanks.
You probably need to look.
Yeah, we don't get that much love.
Look, can you press that little something saying something on that weird?
I'm finding out your battery low, Toscca.
My battery's low? That's terrible. Who inspired me in, okay, so as far as artists or people that
artists, film, being in film, like who inspired you? Because for me, like when I watch somebody who does like photography or even videos or an actor, like Denzel inspires the mess out of me.
Right.
And so I watch him and I'm like, man, he does a great job. Or, Leonardo DiCaprio, like he's probably like my number. He's probably number 2 and number 3 is Shia LaBeouf. I think he's
Shia. You know what? You brought up Shia LaBeouf. I haven't seen him in. When was the last time Shia LaBeouf's been in something?
Never mind. I was gonna say the last Transformers.
Nah, he was in the movie with.
He disappeared.
Because he had some legal troubles. But
Shia, my bad.
But I think Shia he's an amazing type of. I think I like actors who are method actors who really get into their part and don't waver and they dive into who the character is, because to me that's the only way I'm gonna believe it if that's actually like the Joker. Heath Ledger, I can't see nobody else as the Joker because of what he did.
Yeah.
Although
but that's method though. I can't see anybody else as Ray Charles. Ray Charles other than Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, and so
I just don't see anybody else as him. Who inspired me? All right, so I think so. At the beginning, it's gonna be weird and eclectic, but so let's see. Of course, I'll go with Spike Lee. People always. I love Mo Better Blues. Like people ask me, your favorite Spike Lee joints is Mo Better Blues. And after that, close second is Do the Right Thing. But I love Spike Lee. I also am a big fan of when I was a kid. the first thing I ever saw and I was like, I want to do that was Tim Burton's A Nightmare Before Christmas. Ooh. I saw that when I was a kid and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do whatever that is. I had no idea what in a stop motion, but I'm saying I didn't know what that was.
That's very difficult.
I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm doing that. You know what I mean? So Tim Burton. And then the older I got, I kind of noticed that there were not a lot of like black female directors. You know, I do like Sofia Coppola. I don't know if you know who that is. Her dad's Francis Ford Coppola. But I do like her. Lost in Translation was excellent. Virgin Suicide was excellent. I love her. But also, I'm a big fan of Cassie Lemons. She's the director of the new Harriet Tubman film. But also she directed Eve's Bayou. Okay. And so I'm a really big fan of her. I mean, I could go on and on. Like, it's a lot of people. I love Quentin Tarantino. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's the only person I think I go into the theater and I have no idea what's about to happen. Every time I'm like, I have no idea where you're going, Quentin. Like, no idea whatsoever. But I do love his work. So, and that's on the film too. Like, for artists, like people that inspire me through their art. Of course, I love Frida, and I say that and people are like, who the heck is Frida? It's a lady with the eyebrows. Yeah, I'll tell you about this lady with the eyebrows.
I said they really love Frida Kahlo.
I have one of her paintings on my wall. Yeah, like I love her. I love Salvador Dali. He was a surrealist painter.
So you love the surrealism movement? Yeah,
I love surrealism. You know what I'm saying? And remember that though when you come to StompFest. Like Toscca loves surrealism. That's it. You know what I mean? Like I love surrealism. And let's see. Okay. And of course, like Basquiat, like I love him. I mean, that's what we got that Keep It King, Queen Crown from. Like, yeah, I love Basquiat. I have some books on him, so I love him. Let me think. That's kind of it, really, on the artist too. But.
So, where do you see yourself going in your I guess future endeavors as far as we know with G Code, StompFest, personally? Where do you want this to take you?
That's interesting. So I think that if you had asked me that like 2 years ago, I wouldn't even be saying that I was doing StompFest. Or you're gonna be creative directing, you know, one of the biggest events in the city in the biggest venue. Like, you asked me that 2 years ago, I was like, absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? Like, no way. And so the fact that I'm doing it now really is like a testament to like that, you know, whatever I think that, and not just me, anybody, whatever you feel like you can do it. Like, whatever you dream that you do it. And so also when I say I want to be doing like, you know, the Oscars. The
Oscars. She's coming.
That's kind of, you know what I mean. So but I will say this though, like a couple of years ago, I made it, or maybe like a year ago, I made it in my mind that I had to like let some things go off my plate because I have a lot of things on my plate. Like just these two events take up the entire year. So like from now until next May, I will be busy. Because these two things take up a lot of my time. And so with me knowing the direction I was going in, like I know Eric made that joke, like, you know, I'm not really on the Lamplighter staff anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still with the Lamplighters, you know what I'm saying? I'm still Mama T. Don't cry, kids. I'm still Mama T.
So they can call you Mrs., but we can't.
They call me Mama T.
Mama T?
So don't let it come with the mail?
It does. But also they're like in high school. So they get to call me, y'all don't get to call me Miss.
No, she said we grown. We on some grown tip now.
Why can't y'all? No. But I knew that I wanted to like do other things, and even in my personal life, like there are directions that I'm going in my personal life. Like it's like I have to commit to. It's either I give 100% to these few things, or like 50% to all these things. And so I had to kind of like clear my plate, and I've been doing that over the year. Like this past year, like I'm clearing my plate. I'm only gonna do these two big events. Because they take up a lot of time, and then you know, like with mentoring and all that, like I still love it. Of course, I love the kids.
But it's like you follow your passion right now.
Yeah, not even I'm following my passion to, you know what I'm saying, like leave the kids. It's like I'm doing these things, which still will lead back to them. You know what I'm saying? G code is with them. You know what I mean? So, but just like knowing the direction I want to go in, knowing that I want to make this something that I do for a living. Like I have to either do it now or I'm never gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? So with StompFest and especially with G code, like G code, I'm gonna be the chairperson for that this year. So it's like I want it to go great. You know what I mean? Because I'm heading it up. I want it to go really, really, really well. I want the city to be like, I know I've been to some other G codes. I have. And this year, this has really been, you know what I mean? Like, I need that to be, you know what I'm saying? So, that's kind of where I see myself doing these two things and maybe in the next couple of years, kind of like mastering it and then going on to something bigger. Oscars. And I'm kidding. It's like steps where you get to that. BET Awards.
At the Oscars.
I can do the BET Awards.
I love it.
Milwaukee. I can make magic happen. I promise. No, but just knowing that I want to like go and do this for a living, but do it and on bigger levels than I'm doing it now. You know what I'm saying? And just I could do music festivals. Like there's a lot of wiggle room for this. What I'm doing. And so just, basically getting my business off the ground and trying to make sure that people know that this is what I do. You know what I'm saying? So when you're in the city right now, you know what I'm saying? When you think about, all right, so when you leave StompFest, on the creative tip, because mind you, we have a whole team. So there's people who do different things for StompFest. There's not just creative. Like there's Freeman, who's the founder. There's people who work in finances. There's people who do operations, who make sure everything runs smoothly as far as like the actual building, you know what I mean? Like there's an entire team for that. But for my part, when you leave, if you had a good time, if you had a good experience at the actual show, then I'm going to be satisfied because that's my part of this entire thing. Like just making sure that people have a good time at that show. Like they walk out like, you know what? Definitely going to StompFest. And I think they've already laid the groundwork for that last year. Like who was there?
I was definitely. I was there.
You were
there.
there.
I was in Atlanta, so
What was it? It was great, right? And
amazing.
Yeah, and that was like big, like kudos to like Max and Miss Monique. Like they did a great job with that. Like that, I walked in and I was like, you know what? This is great. Like imagine that being the first time you're doing something and it goes that well. You know what I'm saying? So it's only up from there.
Up from there, definitely.
Yeah, only up from there because they laid a fantastic, you know what I'm saying, groundwork for that. So it's like you take that and you just, and so I feel like this year you don't have any choice, and then just with it expanding to the whole weekend, like I think that's gonna be something the city has never experienced. Like we've never had like a weekend.
And to be quite honest with you, Toscca, like last year, I really feel like y'all like underplayed yourself. Even with the venue you guys had, I'm like this is not gonna hold everybody.
What was it there?
It was with Brownsville Community Center.
I feel like they could have easily done something bigger because it was packed. You know what I mean?
So,
but you when it's your first time doing something, you're like, I don't know.
You don't want to overplay it.
I don't know if people are gonna. But then when I walked out, I was like, wow, like the city really came out for that. Like.
So with that, it's like I'm a Pensacola native. There hasn't been things like this before, and while the Base Center is not one of those top stadiums or anything. It's not a small venue.
It's not a small venue, yeah.
Quite a few people in there. Mm-hmm. So
trust me, I've walked in there on the floor, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. There's 2 graduations in there.
Yeah.
So success is happening. It's going. How far do y'all see this going? Like, is it moving areas? Because as I said, I remember last year, it definitely brought in a lot of people from outside the Pensacola area and everything like that. Y'all see StompFest, like you said, it's a whole weekend right now. It could be a weekend in Mobile, Atlanta, other different areas where you bring in all these different people out to where the experience is closer.
Yeah, I think that's something that, like, it could definitely evolve into that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's StompFest in this particular city this weekend. You know what I mean? I definitely think that's
BET exclusive stuff.
Yeah, I definitely think that's something that, you know what I mean, could be on the table. So you just gotta. Keep working and making this one a success so that, that branding spreads to other cities. Because right now, I expect people to be at StompFest from surrounding areas. You know what I'm saying? If they're not, I'm like, okay, are we marketing area? Like,
because to be honest, I can see this in Atlanta. Because it's such a big
HBCU type of towns.
And then that's the culture right now, though.
Yeah.
Like everything, you know what I'm saying? Like if you keep your eye open for the culture, you know that right now HBCUs, not that they haven't always been there, but I kind of feel like, you know, with Beyonce's homecoming and things like that, people are taking more notice of HBCUs. You know, they've always been there, but the general public. And so I think this is a good time for people to just kind of like learn about, you know what I mean? Like learn about what they are, what, you know what I'm saying? People who don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even know they're
exactly. You know what I'm saying? And so that was something I had to learn, you know what I'm saying? I work at a school, you know, and I think last year we did something with our students, and they learned about all the HBCUs, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I was right there with them, like, you know, I didn't even know, you know what I'm saying? Of course I know about the ones that everybody talks
like
about.
FAMU, Howard.
I used to go to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When I was in college, I was always road tripping to where I could get the best experience, the best vibe, you know. And so just with the kids, like learning, I was, you know, like, you know, this is something we need to know. And so I think when you come to StompFest, like you'll leave out with that appreciation of just the culture in general. You know what I'm saying? HBCU culture. You'll have an appreciation for Greek culture, even if you're not Greek, even if you didn't attend the HBCU, even if you're not black, you know what I'm saying? You'll have an appreciation, even if you're not into art, you know what I'm saying? Even if you're not into step, like you're gonna have an appreciation for those things. So I don't necessarily have to be into you know, rock and roll to appreciate a good, you know, song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I want people who are just casual, people that want to come to walk out with that appreciation of the arts, of the work that we put in, and you know what I mean? You don't have to just be a part of one of those groups to come. You don't have to just have went to an HBC. You don't have to just be Greek. You have to just be black to come. No. Because then the same way we go to, you know, art museums to see things painted by people we have no idea about, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We go to museums and things to learn things. This is that same vibe. Come and then let us show you the thing, you know what I'm saying? And all you see to do is appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to, you know, walk out being a super advocate for anything, or it's really just, it's art. And I want you to come and appreciate it. I want you to come be a spectator for the art. So.
Is there any adversity that you've faced so far?
In my life or with something?
Either or. When it comes to where you are now.
Adversity all the time with StompFest. StompFest is nothing but a ball of adversity. Because it's so many moving parts. I promise you, it's so many moving parts that people don't even, like when you come to the show, you'll be like, okay, this is great, and you won't even know that it took a million different things to make some of that stuff happen, a million different moving parts. And so, but I'm up for the challenge though. I love a good challenge, like love it. In my life, I mean, I think adversity for me, I mean, there's a lot of things, and I don't want to, you know what I'm saying, do divide ways and nothing like that, but I think for me, if you add up all the, you know, my demographics, I'm a black female, you know what I'm saying, I was born without, my father wasn't there, you know what I'm saying, born to a single black woman. There's a lot of things that I do right now that I probably shouldn't be doing, just you know, statistic wise, like, oh, you aren't going to be anything, or you aren't going to accomplish, you know what I mean? So, but I don't like to harp on. I always tell the kids I mentor, like, you know, what you've been through, that doesn't define you. You can be anything you want to be, anything you want to be. Like, it doesn't have to define who you are. Like, it's just things you went through that made you who you are. Like, they made you who you are, but that's not all you are. You know what I mean? So, you know, just knowing that the things that I've overcome in my life, and even still, like, in my adult life, like, I overcome things all the time in my adult life. You know what I'm saying? I tell kids all the time, like, I know people see me and think, no, you have it all together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm out here, like, you know, keep it clean, you know, black women are this, that. Even though I argue with them in a minute about, you know, black women being capable, and they are. You know what I'm saying? I don't know anything more powerful than a black woman. I don't know anything more powerful than a black woman, especially when she is determined. There's nothing more powerful than that. You know what I mean? And because I know it and I live it, and I'm surrounded with women who I've seen do amazing things, all because they were just determined. Like, to me, a black woman, if she's determined, like, get out of the way. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about myself though. When I am determined to do something, when I'm determined to achieve something, when I am determined to overcome something, just get out of my way because I'm about to do it. I'm about to do it. You know what I mean? And so, and I hope that comes off to like the kids I mentor. I don't have to say that to them, but I hope they just take note of it. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times mentoring is not me telling you what you should or shouldn't be doing, it's me living it and showing you. You know what I'm saying? And then sharing, the things a lot of times they'll tell me things and I'll be like, oh, okay, I can tell you something that's similar to that or 10 times harder than that. But I am also still here. You know what I mean? Still doing things that people think or think I shouldn't be doing or didn't have the power to do or the capabilities to do. And I'm still doing it. So, just making sure you navigate that adversity with that mentality. That it doesn't matter what it is, I can overcome it. It doesn't matter. And you name it, I've already overcome it. You know what I mean? I've lost people. Everything that other people, you know what I'm saying? So, as long as you're determined, I feel like that's it. You're determined, and you have God. And then with that, you're unstoppable. Just facts.
Love it. I love it.
Put us at a standstill. I ain't never done it. The whole time I'd be like that. And then, of course, you look at the job interview, I was like,
I don't have a question.
When I start getting paid.
When do I need to start?
Man, so if you had one message I'd say to give as we wind it down, what would you say your message is, whether it be to the kids that are interested, that see this G-Code, or see this StompFest, to people that are looking to be in a position that you're in to put together something like this for the city or for their city? What message do you say you have for those people?
All right, so for the kids, just take away everything I just said because that was
hard right there.
That was quote worthy. Believe you can achieve. I think that the thing I always like to tell people is that I like to be, and I'm pretty sure I've already said this before, not in here, but I like to be an example. Like just by the way I live, I'm really big on that. Like just how I carry myself, social media, all of that. Like I want you to be inspired, just not because I'm telling you like, oh, these are the things I do, or I want you to be inspired because you see it. Like you see me putting into action. I'm living my creed. You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna be out here saying, be a queen, do this, don't, saying, blah, 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 I gotta be like living that life. You know what I'm saying? And that's a big thing for me. Like live your creed. Like what you tell people, do that. Like live it. Don't be out here, you know what I'm saying, do what I say, not what I do. I'm really big on that. Like and that's just like a big, I'm not a fan of people who aren't like that. Like I don't like people who are like really preachy and you should be like this and that. And then like when it's time for you to live that way, it's the opposite. Oh, nah, I can't. No.
But that's most black families anyway, because I hear that a lot.
But that's the thing with parenting, though. You know what I'm saying? Like my mom was big on that. She would be like, you do this way, even though you don't see me doing it that way. And it was like such a confusing thing for me when I was a kid. I used to be like, well, what you're not doing?
So what is right?
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? You have to live your creed. Whatever you're telling people you're about, whatever you're telling people, whatever you're selling them, whether it's through motivational speaking or, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want people to just believe you're a real person. Then you have to, like, be a real person. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but that's advice I would give to the kids. And also just, stay in school and be good. Mama T knows best. No, I'm kidding. And then for people in the city that want to, like, put together things, like, we were just having this conversation today. That's crazy. I would hope that whatever myself and my friends/team is doing, I hope that it inspires people to do more things like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And we were just having this conversation. Like, I wish that when I was younger, that I saw people doing this type of stuff. Right. Because I would be like, wow, like, you know what I mean? Like, I was, I want to do something like that, or I want to get involved, or, you know what I'm saying, or put together those type of things. And so, like, if you see it, if you are inspired by it, like, do it. Do it. You know what I mean? Like, put together things. Like, you won't know until you try. So that would be my takeaway. Just try and see. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm here because I tried. You know, I wasn't like in my mind like, oh, I'm gonna be. My goal wasn't to be a creative director of StompFest. That's not it. It was just like, but I know I can do that job. I know I'm capable of it. And if it's on the path to get me to where I want to be, then I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? And even though it's hard, literally the hardest thing I've done so far in my life, I'm still gonna do it. You know what I mean? It'll probably take up all of my time. So people, when I don't call you or return your calls, it was StompFest. Put that on the table right now. But I think that if you see people in the community doing things, and you feel like you have something to offer, you feel like you can do it. That's what I would tell people. Do it. You know, there are resources out there. There are people out there willing to help. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got some great people helping me with StompFest. I got some great people helping me with G Code. And even with, I'm helping somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I operate under Brian, and he's the founder, like, you know, and he has great people under him, you know what I'm saying? And we all have our own subcommittees, and so that's just resources and people, knowing people and building those relationships in the community where you can reach out and be like, hey, I need to ask you to come do this, you know. So I'm just grateful for that, because I'm telling you, like, to be able to, you know, you have a certain amount of time in this show that you have to entertain people. You gotta like fill that with stuff to entertain people. You know what I'm saying? There's no dead time. People just like standing on stage like, all right, next up. Like, that's not how this works. You know, not at the base center. That's not how that works.
You gotta keep somebody's attention the entire time.
People pay for those tickets, and so I live under that weight every day. Like, people are paying me to entertain them, so I better get it. Not me, literally, but you know what I'm saying? What you came up with to entertain us, get it together, you know? And so, you know, you gotta give people their money's worth. Like, I'm living under that weight. I'll let you know how that works out. let me know how that works out November 2nd when you guys come to StompFest. And make sure you guys come to StompFest.
I don't need this shit.
Yeah.
November 2nd, everybody, no matter where you're at, come to Pensacola, Florida. The Pensacola Base Center will be packed. It will be live. And I guarantee you, if you miss it, you will regret it.
For the entire year, till the next year. And come, and also, I want to see all three of you guys at the press release August 22nd.
I'll be there.
So we'll at the press release, we're gonna roll out all the things we're doing in the show. Everything, the special guests, celebrity guests. We're gonna roll out the events that's happening during the weekend. Like, you don't want to miss it. So, and then you guys have a podcast, so just definitely come. And then anybody else, that's an open invitation. So we'll have all the media there. So
what will that be?
August 22nd at let's pull it up.
Oh,
so I can give them the.
I think is it that boat?
I'm gonna give them the right.
I
was trying to grab my phone, but my phone's recording.
I'm gonna give you guys. So I don't want people
Thursday
to be. Why is my thing not coming up?
All the power from your speech.
Okay, gotcha. Alright, so I'm gonna read it to you right off the flyer. It's a lineup release press conference Thursday, August 22nd at 5 p.m. at the Corinne Jones Resource Center. Alright, so make sure you guys come out. You guys are, you know, social media influencers, so make sure you come out, invite people. It's open to the public. We're gonna have the media there, so y'all come out.
Definitely.
We definitely will.
We have G Code in 2020.
Yes, G Code is going to be, I don't
March.
actually have the right date. I think it's March 16th, but don't quote me on that. 2020, yes, at the Base Center. I can't let me say something. Yeah, at the Base Center.
Oh, yeah.
I just told you.
2 years in a row. I gotta go for real this
Two
time.
events at the Base Center, like I was swamped. But let me tell you something. G Code at the Base Center is going to be like
Massive.
what?
That's gonna be a movie.
Because listen, G Code at PHS is already massive. Like last year.
People paying to stand. People are paying to stand at Pensacola High School.
Line down the street, like up the street.
I went
and
to it.
so it's like
It's gonna
at the Base Center. I can't even imagine the
Something
energy.
loud.
Yes, I can't even imagine the energy in there. And
So-
it's our 5-year, like, so we doing the extra.
So where do you
big.
get all these? Like, are you guys gathering teams from just across the country just to come to?
So this year, though, we have some teams coming from I'm proud of this because we got some teams coming from surrounding areas like different cities. We got some teams coming from Tallahassee, Mobile. We got some teams. We might even have a team. We're working on a team. I think they're out of, where are they out of? I can't think right now. But we're gonna have those teams. But also, though, it's we're gonna have our local teams here. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a show for the community. You know what I'm saying? It's for the community. It's put on for the community. So to have those teams come out. Also, watch the G Code page, step teams, because we're going to be putting out some information soon so that you can sign up for G Code because it is a competition this year.
Oh,
yeah.
what?
That's like last year. I was like, we done with not having. So last year we did the People's Champ where they got the trophy, voted for the best show, and like that went crazy. Like I'm talking about, I was watching the thing on my phone, like people voting per second, like it was going up. Like, and so like last year I think Pensacola Red Diamonds won. This year, we're gonna do the People's Champ, and then we're also gonna do prize money. Like it's a competition.
Oh, this is
so
good.
yeah. So like, you need to come with your best.
Don't be showing the Pensacola with some weak stuff now.
Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not doing it. My goal is to make that like that really, for Northwest Florida and just even in the Panhandle, like for that to be a very big step show for the youth. And also though, with just G Code to be a brand. You know what I'm saying? Like last year we had a couple of hashtags like respect the code, and I kind of want G Code to kind of be like Nike. So like when I wear this, like you already know I'm legit. When I say it. I'm not, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm legit, whatever. Step team, I'm on, like, you know what I mean? Like G Code is like Nike. Respect the code, like, you know what I mean? So, I kind of want it to be like that, you know what I'm saying, when we grow. So I'm going to get y'all some G-Code shirts.
Yeah.
Like, this is the type of stuff that I wish we had around houses.
Yeah,
I didn't know
G-Code
about
shirts.
like this.
Tell you.
This is the type of stuff that I want to be the norm in Pensacola.
Yeah.
G-Code,
It is,
StompFest. We got main source and everything coming in.
Yeah.
This is the
And
type
I love
of
main
stuff.
source. Shout out to main source. I love
This is the type of stuff that Pensacola needs. It's a small town that's got a lot of people. And when you get tight-knit groups going on, they're tight. But sometimes everything's just so widespread, you don't have the time or the know-how to bring everything together. So events like this, it really brings that.
Yeah, social media is helping with that too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because now I can go on and I'm like, oh, there's a party this day, there's an event this day. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a whole like social calendar.
And with that week lineup for what's going on with obviously with G Code as well with StompFest, everybody gets to eat. Everybody gets that chance to showcase what they can do.
And I love how it's like a collaborative thing with StompFest, with those weekends, because like people who are doing all these separate things can come together and like make it a really impactful weekend for the city. You know what I'm saying? To bring in that tourism, to bring in people, you know what I'm saying, from different places. And you're right, it makes everybody be able to eat. You know
People
what I'm
like
saying?
you know that Pensacola exists.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so now
You want my shirt?
you have Juice Squad. Shout out to Juice Squad.
Thank you.
Now you have these different, you know what I'm saying, groups who are doing all these things, like that comes more to the forefront. And I think it's great. You know what I'm saying? Like I definitely, you know what I'm saying, I need a shirt. I need a main shirt. I need a Juice Squad shirt.
I'm trying to get one for everyone.
I need all the shirts. But I'm telling people that they're gonna want the G Code shirts this year. Like it's really, I'm telling you, it's gonna be that cool. You're gonna want the G Code. Like,
So when is everything going on sale, Toscca? When is tickets?
The tickets for StompFest, y'all gotta refer to the page because I don't know. What is that?
I gotta check my email.
Look, tickets on sale August 23rd. August 23rd, tickets go on sale on Ticketmaster.
The day after the press conference.
Okay.
Is it on Ticket? Tickets go on sale August 23rd. And so you definitely wanna go ahead and start.
Save your money and get your tickets.
Yeah, be there because let me tell you something. It's gonna be one of those shows like if you let it go by and you miss it, you're gonna be mad at yourself. You're gonna be mad at yourself because you're gonna see the footage. You're gonna be like, damn, like a good time. Like it's gonna be a good time. Yeah. It's gonna be a good time, but like times 10 because everything that we're doing in that show, like it's never been done before. I've never seen it done before.
Okay.
I'm excited to see it.
You know what I'm saying?
Because when I got a chance to listen in on it, I was like, man, it sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I've never seen it done before. I've never seen anybody do what we're about to do. I've never seen it done. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That can be a little scary, like a little bit, like dang. You know what I'm saying? But also though, I'm with it 100%. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I can't wait to like for people to when we start to like push everything out. You know, when the show I really can't wait because I think that people are gonna be like surprised, but also like inspired. You know what I'm saying? And that's what does art do? Art inspires people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like if you leave StompFest like inspired, and I've done my job. So I can't wait for it actually. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I get a little bit of break and then I gotta start right back up on G Code. But G Code is gonna be
massive.
Like what? Like, I can't even listen to me. That show is gonna be like a big deal. I mean it's two different markets, you know what I'm saying? One is for but it's gonna be a big deal. And I don't know if people remember like how big a deal the back to the 90s was. Like you know what I'm saying? That was a big deal, and I mean that was a big deal, and it spawned the amount of people that it did last year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That line was to the street. You know what I'm saying? Because that one was so good. And that line was to the street and people were literally just standing up because there's nowhere for them to, you know what I'm saying, sit. And so, and even this past year, like that one was massive. Like, you know what I mean? Like the boys really like put a lot of work into that. You know, Max and Woo, like they put a lot of work into the Lamplighter show. The coaches from the other teams, you had Physical Ray Downs, you had PTED. We had a couple other teams. Their coaches put in a lot of work, and so like, imagine next year. Like, just imagine. Like, I just can't even. Like, I'm looking forward to it. Like, it's gonna be massive and exciting. So.
You popular.
I'm not. But yeah. So. Any more?
Anything else you got? Josh?
This was fun talking to you guys.
Amazing talking to you.
I gotta invite you back.
Man, I gotta tell everybody, man. So this past weekend, the Omega Lamplighter staff, you know, we went to New Orleans to have a little staff planning retreat, and we're at dinner last night, and Toscca says, "Eric, why don't y'all have any females on y'all podcast?" And I said, "We definitely have females on our podcast. You don't watch the podcast." So I was like, that's easy to handle. Hey, Pernell, you want to go ahead and have on tomorrow? Yeah, sure. 6 o'clock. You
And he was like, yes, I'm going to fix that right. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, put you on
I thought
spot.
it was like, so I didn't know. So I was kind of like, I was prepared to like, you know, get on him. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
don't be out here doing all males, you know, stuff.
Women
are important.
Yeah, so I called that bluff. She was like, "Oh, that fast? That fast?"
Yeah. You were like, yes, and you're on.
We like,
and we're live.
So yeah, but I definitely, I mean, I'm definitely gonna go back and watch y'all's. So I think this is, you know, cool. So.
Yeah, we've come a long way from just doing phone calls.
long way.
Long way from phone.
So y'all, I'll come back. Like, I mean. I'll come back before, like, maybe G-Code, since y'all already had me talk about it.
Oh, yeah, as soon as that's over, you come
Yeah,
back.
I'm gonna roll out I'm gonna roll out my G-Code stuff.
Okay.
And I want my shirt.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll out the shirts, we'll roll out the trailer so you guys can see it, like, all of that. You know?
Awesome.
See, next time you do break some shirts, you put it right here. We have right in front of the camera.
Exactly.
We'll put them
I mean,
on
you know what? I had some StompFest flyers in my car. I could have had
Boom, right there. You see?
Boom, come to StompFest. We went to Studio B this weekend.
What is Studio B?
It's in New Orleans.
Yeah, it's
Is that a food place?
No, it's
like an art gallery.
Yeah, he turned an old warehouse into an entire experience of art. You know,
We should do that
a
here.
lot of New Orleans themed stuff. I know there's like one section of a room that's dedicated to like Katrina and like the damage it did, and the way he portrayed that with his art is just absolutely stunning, man.
They
Like,
call it like the water room because it's like water puddles. On
yeah,
the
they
floor.
literally have like a whole.
And then
big
they have
part
like the
of it.
rooftops. It's a really.
They show
really
like a room where it's like covered up to a certain amount in purple, and that shows like how high the water levels were and how much it flooded a home, you know, and the damage it really did. But it's just beautiful the way he portrayed that, you know. I'm not even an art guy, really. I'm not personally an art guy.
But you got into your feelings, didn't you?
Yeah. You know,
but then he had like, you know, he has like Malcolm X on the walls. He's got Trayvon Martin. He's got.
He does.
You know what I'm saying? Just like a bunch of different, like culturally relevant artwork up. You know what I'm saying? And my big thing is like when I tell you all the time, because people are like, oh man, I want to go to the art museum. I'm like, no, you want to go to this one though. And shout out to Studio B and B Mike, which is his Instagram name. The artist that painted, like he followed him, like he does an amazing job, like just a very culturally aware person, and he infuses that into his work. And it's really just a sight to see. And it's one of those things where it's like you walk out of there like feeling like somebody understands you. Like, you know what I mean? As a people, you know, like understands us as a people. And so like I always encourage people to go there. And that's one of my favorite places to go when I'm in New Orleans. Like I always, hey, go to Studio B. Like I've literally told every single person I know to go to Studio B. I mean, nobody's ever went and was like, that's terrible. Like they were like, oh my gosh, like amazing.
I think most people don't know they like a certain type of art until they go to a good experience. Because for me, like, I like going to ballets. I really do. Oh,
really?
Man. Yes.
Pernell likes ballets.
Yeah, like, see, look, I went to.
Honestly,
Really?
I went to many of them
Oh
as a kid in elementary school, and it is honestly, it's a sight to see.
And the way the dancers portray.
I started putting on my to-do list.
Like if you watch football and you think it's amazing how some of these receivers and running backs are able to handle their bodies, watching ballet is on a completely different level.
Like I went to Northwest Florida in Fort Walton, and they had like a dance facet, and they had like a whole like a ballet and some other dances going on, but the music portrayed the story of what was going on throughout the whole thing, and nobody was speaking, it was just the dancing, interpreting, and it was amazing.
Yeah. It's amazing.
I've gone like 3 years in a row.
Really?
Every year.
Yeah, let's slide next time.
Definitely have to go to that.
All right.
Well, again. Well, Eric, you can go ahead and finish it off. Go ahead and do the eggs.
Right.
The eggs. Let's see what you got.
See what I got?
The beautiful. Go ahead. Do it. I wanna hear you
Well,
say it.
everybody, it's time to wrap it on up with the On My Way podcast. We like to again thank the Miss Beautiful Toscca Madison again. TD Muse 27 on Instagram. Go ahead and give her a follow. Thank you for your time today. Gonna go ahead and wrap it up with that guy you know, Mr. Joshua Darns.
Yo.
The On My Way 18, Mr. Pernell Beals. And Big Easy, E-Mart.
So deep from the drugs every day, but yo, niggas be down from the guns every day, but yo, niggas get caught selling bricks every day, but yo, don't nobody care about the youth. Please stop lying and tell them the truth. Niggas OD from the drugs every day, but y'all still tell them to use them. Niggas be down from the guns every day, but y'all still tell them to shoot them. Niggas get caught selling bricks every day, but y'all still tell them to move them. None of y'all niggas El Chapo. You ain't even moving that Rocky like Flacco. Honey pack shells like a taco. You ain't even get to the chips like Nacho. I go to hood, you can knock out, and I am well respected like a capo. Got the Haitian flag on the right side, hanging right off a nigga Paco. Straight to the bank, I'm laughing. I done made hella fucking money off passion. Get the whole thing, no fraction. Really independent, no capping. Look, I got a family to feed. I can't afford subtraction. These niggas smile in your face, but really be kicking your back in. Don't know you, so I ain't not dapping. I'm old, actually was popping the cracking. I'm not in the gang banging the trapping. I was more in the fashion of rapping. This is more than the law of attraction. Had to pray every night I would have it. He ain't wanna give it to me, I'ma grab it. Tell them niggas on top, I want static. Actually the classy, no I'm living lavish. All I see is blue like I play for the Magic. If I put it out, it's a classic. When I was young, said fuck being average. Used to get good grades in my classes. See you making moves, but you niggas won't pass us. When we pull up to your hood or come to your block, we the ones giving out pass. Don't nobody care about the youth. Please stop lying and tell them the truth. Niggas OD from the drugs every day, but y'all still tell them to use them. Niggas be down from the guns every day, but y'all still tell them to shoot them. Niggas get caught selling bricks every day, but y'all still tell them to move them. None of y'all niggas El Chapo. You ain't even moving that Rocky like Flacco. Honey pack shells like a taco. You ain't even get to the chips like Nacho. I go to hood, you can knock out, and I am well respected respect like a capo. Got the Haitian flag on the right side, hanging right off a nigga block.